Hey everybody, Sam Kavaris in the Nimnicht Buick GMC Sports Update. Good week for the Jaguars. Yes, I know that they only won 4 games last year, and then they had to go coach the Senior Bowl. But let's put all that in the past and take it from here forward, and see that it is obviously an excellent opportunity for the Jaguar coaches and the scouts to interact with the players at the Senior Bowl in Mobile in every situation, whether or not it is a team meeting, walking down the hall, how they carry themselves on the bus, walking onto the practice field, how they react to coaching, all kinds of things. So it's a two-way street. They know what they're getting if, in fact, they do draft or sign any of these players as undrafted free agents. The players also know what they're getting into because the Jaguars themselves are running a Jaguar kind of week, a practice week. There are some things that Bradley has to do from a Senior Bowl perspective that they ask him X number of reps for one-on-ones, X number of reps for 11-on-11s. But outside of that, it's the same tempo that the Jaguars have been working at, sans the music. So, it'll be very interesting to see what they take from this week. It's not something you want to get used to. It's not something you want to do on a regular basis. But if you're there, they clearly are taking advantage of it. The Jaguars' first-round pick is not going to be there. Remember, there are 98 underclassmen who have declared for the draft. Most of the first round will be guys who are juniors or redshirt sophomores coming out. So where the Jaguars go is still clearly up in the air, still with the third pick. Cleveland behind them still doesn't have a coach, so there are a lot of X factors. And remember, the draft doesn't come around until mid-May at this point. If you're keeping score, it's the Thursday, Friday, Saturday of Players Week here in town. So it'll be a very busy week, obviously, for sports when it comes to people in North Florida and particularly in Jacksonville. The 49ers lose to the Seahawks. Patriots lose to the Broncos. So you get the Broncos and Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Broncos clearly the superior team over New England. New England was, I think, pretty lucky to be there. Tom Brady carried them there all year. They had so many injuries and so many things happen to them that finally I think it caught up with them, and Peyton Manning was able to do exactly what he wanted. The Seahawks, on the other hand, played a very difficult 49ers team, but in the end proved superior from a total team standpoint. And I think it'll be interesting to see what happens in the Super Bowl. The line has moved a little bit, but it's still around a pick 'em, a 1 or 2, a 2-point game. I did hear today, by the way, that the Broncos are going to wear their orange jerseys in the game. Broncos are 0-3 wearing orange jerseys in Super Bowls, if you believe in that kind of stuff. As of right now, the temperature was 17 in New York, and it was snowing. It may be as high as 30 or as low as 9 by the time the Super Bowl rolls around. Remember, it'll start 6:30 Eastern time, so in essence, it'll be a night game when they actually kick it off there in New Jersey. Kind of interesting. You go back. One other thing. Go back to that thing with Richard Sherman at the end of the game, where he was talking about Michael Crabtree and shooting his mouth off, and Aaron Andrews really didn't know what to do. And I know it makes me sound like I'm 1,000 years old, but go back to Muhammad Ali finishing a fight and screaming that he's the greatest, and Howard Cosell jumps in the ring, and Cosell asks him something, and he says, I'm the greatest. And in fact, Ali is the greatest and was the greatest. And Cosell basically would acknowledge that. Okay, fine, you're the greatest. Now take me through the 12th round. It wasn't as celebrated to have this kind of rant and this kind of heat of the moment. This guy just went 15 rounds with Joe Frazier or whatever, and in steps a reporter to ask him. He's shouting he's the greatest. It's the reporter's job to elicit what that means. So, I felt like that Andrews was a fish out of water there. Maybe she's so used to just asking such vanilla pablum that she really didn't know what to ask, except what did she say, who dissed you or something like that. So maybe the next question was, okay, fine, you're the greatest. Take us through that play again. How did that occur? We'll never know, but clearly Richard Sherman has become the focal point of Seattle going into Super Bowl week. Maybe Pete Carroll doesn't mind that so much. We'll see. I'm Sam Kavaris, and that's the Nimnicht Buick GMC Video Sports Update.